Hey, all right, we're live. Cool. Let me get this out of the way. You guys can't see it, but you can see it. I'm just kidding. It's not a big deal. Let me get my windows set up so I can see you guys and talk to you guys, but we'll be ready to go here in just a second. Yes. Oh, shh. Okay. Tell Jordan, shut up. All right, cool. So I got that. I want my window open at least, so I can see what's going on. All right. We are good. Jose, what's up, man? How'd you like the, Jaquez thought he was first. Hey, Jose, how'd you like the mentorship first video? We went into pricing on the first video. I can't remember what next week's is. Let me ask Ted real quick. Ted. Any clients? All right, I'm back. Hang on. Ted's gonna find out. He's the one mapping this stuff out. No, you're good. Chipper. You want to say hi to the dog? We'll get started here in just a second, guys. I just want to wait for some people to get in. So come here, say hi. Come here. Hi. Say hi. He's like, what's going on? This is Chipper, guys. I don't know if you guys have watched all of my content. He gets on here sometimes. Chipper's my boy. All right, you got to go. I know I love you too. You got to go. You got to go. I think it's on landing customers. I'm pretty sure that's the next video. But yeah, it was all about pricing. That video, I did another full-on example of a guide. That's the thing, really, with pricing. What I've learned, at least with teaching you guys, is it's just going to take multiple lessons and different ways of explaining it for you to actually understand it to where you can create your own pricing structure. But that's kind of what we got. So I hope you guys are able to get in to the mentorship course. If you want, it is in the description below, I believe. And there's even a 50% off promo we're running right now. I'll put the promo code in the chat box, but it's Mentors50. If you enter in Mentors50 at checkout on the mentorship program, you'll get 50% off your first month.
Landing clients.
Yeah. So the next week's video will be about landing clients. You guys, I'm telling you, as far as mentorship goes, it's the best deal you can get. But anyways, let me see here. There it is. Okay. All right. So Kirby, what's going on, man? Glad to have you in the course. Cypress said he was first. Jose, I'm glad you liked it. All right, we're going to get started here really quickly. So today we are talking about, let me move this a little over. It's my phone light, but it does good on computers too. All right, so 5 strategies to basically improve your work efficiency. These are things that I've done myself. A lot of these things you might have already heard of or seen, but I'm going to tell you kind of the difference between what I've been doing as a marketing agency owner against any other maybe business owner. Not that these principles don't apply. I'm just going to talk specifically about how I've used it for my marketing agency to relate back to, again, you guys, so you understand, what you can start doing to do the same thing for your agency. So first and foremost, what I'm going to show you guys first, and I'm actually going to share my screen with you guys on this. But the first thing I want to show you guys is my planning calendar. So you guys can see right here. All right, so this is my daily calendar. This is where I set everything, my agency stuff, my serial entrepreneur stuff, meetings that I have. I have all of it kind of funneled to a daily planning calendar. All right, then I have, and I guess let me go through kind of some of my rituals. So you can see right here, every Saturday we do a little bit of planning on Saturday morning at 11 a.m. There's other stuff that we do throughout the day, but I like to leave my Saturdays a little more open. You do have to have some free time for yourself, which is part of one of the 5 things we're going to talk about tonight. But you have to set time to do some planning for the week. Like, you have to plan to plan. So this is one of the things that I recommend. You can see Saturday we do a little bit of weekly planning from 11 a.m. to about 12 a.m. And then on Sundays, we do 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. We do daily planning for serial entrepreneurs brand, for content, stuff like that. And then 12 p.m. we do agency planning daily. That's when we start doing that. You can see this past weekend we did a home improvement video shoot. I had a meeting with Garrett, which is my little brother. He's actually about to start working with my agency. He's getting interested in what I do, which is kind of funny. But yeah, he's getting involved with agency stuff. And then I shoot my YouTube live at 9 p.m. And then again, I use my weekends kind of as fillers for things that I missed previously in the week that I need to get done before the next week. So that's kind of what I use the weekends for. But you can see we do daily planning here where I have, things that I'm doing at each hour of that day, and then reminders of things. So like I have shoot YouTube vids. These are my 2 YouTube video shoot reminders every week. These are you can catch me shooting on both of those days every day. And then we have my YouTube live events posted on here Sundays and this, and then we have our Facebook live events. But it's just it's planning your day out, understanding where your time is being allocated. I think that's what you guys should understand from this. If you're not allocating your time properly, if you're not putting it into the things that are going to make you the most money, then you're not utilizing your time the most efficient way you possibly can. So plan out your week, plan out day by day, and take it 2 weeks at a time. I set things that don't change. You can see a lot of this is stuff that doesn't change, but as the week goes on, we add stuff to the calendar that we need to get done. All right, so this is just my daily planning calendar. We have my master content calendar. You can see that's a whole other thing with content that we do for Serial Entrepreneur. I have Ted's calendar. We have a weekly planning calendar, and then I have a whole other list of calendars on a separate email. This is my Serial Entrepreneur email. But on my Rest and Bar marketing calendar, there's a whole list of client calendars and stuff like that. So, it's just about tracking your day, understanding where your time is being allocated, understand where you're wasting time, and then where you're actually putting your time to good use. And that's something I struggled with myself, guys. I mean, I am not known for being a great planner or a great organizer. Though people tell me I do a decent job, I personally feel scatterbrained a lot of the time, and I'm sure you guys feel the same way too. So this is one of the methods that helps me keep on track and keep focused, so I know, again, just if I'm completing my goals or not. And that's another thing, guys. You guys need to be setting daily goals. So you can see that's why I have the daily planning calendar, because it shows me what I need to do each day. It's not just things like my meetings, but it's also things like, hey, just shoot this video. Remember to shoot this video today. You have to do it today. And I make sure that if it's on that day's list, I try to get it done that day. If it's a have to do thing like a YouTube vid, I get it done. If it's not, if it's something I can move, like my meeting with Garrett, I can push that to another day. If I have to, I leave it standing. So super easy concept, guys, but you have to start planning out your week, planning out your days, planning out your months, because here's the thing, you guys probably do goals, right? If you guys have goals like 1 year goals, I want to hear what your 1 year or, a couple of your 1 year goals are in the comments. But if you do 1 year goals, then you need to do monthly and weekly and daily planning, because how are you going to know if you're reaching that goal or if you're making progress towards that goal if you're not tracking anything? You're just hoping that eventually one day you'll make it to that goal, which that's not gonna help you. That's not gonna help your agency. You have to understand what goal you need to hit, and then make a deciding factor when you want to hit that goal. All right, so that's super important. This is why planning calendars are so important. Let me see now. All right, so we got the calendar part. Let's get back here. All right, so number 2. The thing that we're going to talk about is understanding your strengths versus your weaknesses. Okay. And this comes down to outsourcing. All right. So I want you guys to understand outsourcing is a huge part in this business. I've told this to several different people. I've said it in my course. I've said it in past videos. But what I strongly believe, guys, is you don't have to become an expert in every single thing. So for example, I personally am not an expert in PPC. Do I know how to run the campaigns? Yes. Do I know how it integrates with a digital marketing campaign, a comprehensive digital marketing campaign? Yes, I know where it has its place. I know how to drive traffic to the PPC campaign. I know what to do once traffic is received from the campaign, because it's the same thing that you would do whether it's a Facebook ad or an Instagram ad. All right. You do the same things with traffic that you do with PPC ads as you do with any other ad. But as far as managing the campaigns, making sure that the campaign is set up properly, it's tracking all of the analytics that it needs, that it's, you're testing different niches and you're testing different campaign strategies. That's not where I'm an expert. I know how to run a basic ad, but I know that there are tons of people out there that are better than me at running that type of ad. That's what they've trained. PPC is something that if you take on PPC, that's all you do, because if not, you won't have time to keep up with the industry. PPC is a constantly changing game, just like SEO is, as far as how to get the best results. And people, it stays the same a lot, but there are tactics that change and features that change with the actual tool itself that allow you to do different things, like tracking pixels. They didn't used to have all of this tracking data. All of this was, within the last several years. But, those are the features I'm talking about when you start getting down, that road with PPC. So I don't personally try to manage that campaign myself. I outsource it because it's going to save me time, which then allows me to go out and sell more and make more money. So it's about playing it smart and understanding, guys, you need to be an expert in the field of digital marketing. You need to understand SWEPs, meaning you need social media, website, email, pay-per-click, and SEO. You need to understand how they all work, but you don't have to become a expert in one specific vertical of digital marketing. Understand that if it were up to me to manage 5 clients, try and grow the business, manage all the softwares that are involved, create the content, shoot the video, come up with the graphics, do the editing on the graphics, edit the copy, schedule everything, make sure that the ads are running, optimize the ads, A/B testing for ads. Do you guys realize how much is involved with just one campaign for one business? That's why it's a gold mine. This industry is a gold mine because no one business, I'm getting a little dry. No one business can do it all themselves. All right. So that means they have to find someone to help them get through it, to guide them through the process, or at least to assist their business in running their marketing campaign. Otherwise, they have to hire on a full-on team internally. So they have to rely on people like us to do the job. You guys have to know what your strengths and weaknesses are so you can hire the people to do the jobs that you're not going to do great at, to do a good job for you so you keep customers happy. That's basically all you have to understand there. So understanding your strengths versus your weaknesses means do the right thing for your clients by outsourcing projects that you're not a professional at. So one of the cool things about this partnership that I have with this co-working space is that one of their employees that works there does videography. That's what she went to college for. So she's actually doing a lot of the production side. It's part of the trade agreement that we have. She does a lot of the post-production side, and she's better at it than I am. That's what she went to school for. So I get to leave the trust in her and say, you know what you're doing. I don't have to worry about that. It takes the stress off of me. It gives more time back in my day so I can focus on the important things like strategy and making sure that things are converting and that the results that they're getting with their campaigns are what they're looking for, right? So understand your strengths versus your weaknesses. Don't try to do everything yourself because you can't. It's impossible. Number 3, morning rituals are super important. And for me, guys, I'm going to sound like a white girl, but I like my morning shower. I have to have my morning shower, but the white girl thing is coffee. I have to have my cup of coffee in the morning with a little bit of hazelnut creamer because I like hazelnut creamer. It's the shit. If you don't like hazelnut creamer, then I don't like you. But no, I'm just kidding. It is delicious, but I have to have my morning coffee. I like to take a shower in the morning because it helps wake me up. And then I like to listen to things so I got my Google Home. I already like to do this, but it's become even more popular recently because of the coolness of Google Home. But I like to listen to the news. I like to read articles and listen to news via podcast type things. So Google Home has all these really cool tech podcasts and entrepreneurship podcasts and business podcasts that I get to listen to. But that's what I like to do. I wake up, I usually get my morning coffee. I have at least a cup or two in the morning, and then I take my shower after, just waking up and doing some daily stuff on the computer, like looking through news articles or, checking messages from students, stuff like that. And then after I do all of that, I kind of get into my groove. I start listening to music, and I'm usually working by like 8:30, 9 o'clock, maybe 9:30 at the latest, depending on how my morning went that morning. Sometimes I wake up at 7:30 or 7:45, but usually, I mean, I'm in bed by like 12, sometimes 1, and I'm waking up by like 6 or 7. So that's the thing, guys. I mean, you just have to understand that if you don't set a morning ritual, then your morning kind of gets, it's always scattered. It's all over the place. People like rituals. People like things that are the same. They don't like change, is really what I'm getting to. People don't like to have things change around them constantly. They like to get used to something. They like to understand something because it gets them in a flow, and they get, good at doing that flow every single day. Well, that's what a morning ritual does. It kind of prepares you for your morning or for your work day, so that way you understand, okay, well, here's what we're doing. This is what I have to do to get going. This is what it's kind of what starts or triggers your motivation. But it's super important in making sure that you're prepared for the day. Outside of that, make sure you're doing something good for yourself, like eating a balanced breakfast. That's one thing I've had to work with myself on, because I'll get to working, I'll have my morning coffee and get to working and forget to even eat. So I've been doing morning smoothies, which is one of the parts we're going to talk about in a second. But number 4, and a lot of you guys are going to like this one. So shout out if you are an Xbox Live player. I know I say stuff previously about video games, but we're going to talk specifically about this one thing. Not one thing, but we're going to talk about video games this one time, and it's going to be because of a specific reason. All right. So taking de-stress breaks. All right. This is a super important thing, because you guys are going to burn yourselves out if you do not do something to kind of come down from all the high stress, high volume, high intensity type job that you're involved in now. Social media is not just something where it's super easy to do all the time, and marketing is definitely not something where it's super easy to do all the time and get great results and repeat it every single time. Marketing is always something that's different. It's always sporadic. So if you were doing this on a regular basis, 14, 15 hours a day, and that's all you're committing yourself to, then you're not doing anything that kind of takes some of the edge off. You have to do something. So one thing that I recommend is, in the middle of your day, or, after 3 to 4 hours of work, take, 30 minutes off and play some video games if that's what you like to do. Me personally, that's what I like to do. I like to play first-person shooter games, Xbox Live, Tank Buster 13, hook me up or hit me up. If any of you Xbox Live players are out there, I'm just kidding. You probably shouldn't do that, because I'll get on there and I'll make you cry. But no, I'm kidding. All right, let's stop. Let's get serious. That's just what I like to do to de-stress. I like to take 30 minutes sometimes in the middle of my work day, spread out and de-stress, take some of the edge off and say, okay, I got to get refocused. I got to, kind of get out of the mindset of thinking about work right now. I need to back up and say, okay, let's just chill, cool it for a sec, reset myself, and I'll get back to it. And that's usually how it works out. So what it does for me, it just kind of calms me back down. It resets myself. So when I get back into the zone, I'm like, okay, well, what was I thinking about? And you come at it at a different perspective than you previously had. So it's a really cool way to kind of, again, just put your focus back in order, and help you get through that period of time where you're not feeling very motivated to get the work done. Does that make sense? So number 5, and we just mentioned it kind of, but this one is all about meal prepping. So meal prepping has been huge for me because, again, I will forget to eat. I will straight up just go working and keep working and then forget that I haven't eaten all day. I did it today. Well, not really. I had my smoothie this morning, but I didn't eat lunch today. So I just work through things sometimes, and then I forget that I haven't eaten. And then by the end of the day, I'm like, I hate myself. I need to eat something. I don't have any energy, but it's just because I haven't eaten. And I know that, and it might have been from a lack of sleep the night before. But hey, you gotta sacrifice sometimes to get the goals you want in life. But meal prepping been huge for me. So tonight I made spaghetti. I made about probably 3 to 4 plates worth. I ate 2 plates because I was hungry. But that means I have 2 plates for, one for lunch maybe tomorrow and one for lunch the next day. Like, I understand if you don't like leftovers. My roommate Jamie doesn't like leftovers, but I like leftovers. I really do. And I have no problem, just putting something in the microwave and eating it the next night. Like that's not a bit, I'm not above leftovers. And if you're above leftovers, then you don't understand a good pot roast. You don't understand chili. There's a lot of foods that you don't understand if you don't like leftovers because you've never truly had it, because chili's always better the second day. But we're getting outside the point. Guys, meal prepping is going to save you a ton of time. Wow. Okay. Meal prepping is going to save you a ton of time. Why? Because it doesn't take time each day to plan. Okay, well, what am I going to eat? What do I feel like I'm in the mood for? Just set almost like a eating schedule for yourself and stick to it. It's pretty simple. And then, save whatever's left over and say, okay, well, this is for later. Or what I like to do, for example, one meal that I cook, I take a bunch of eggs, a bunch of potatoes, onion, garlic, bacon or sausage, cheese, and then I'll do biscuits on top or underneath, cook that off. You put it all together in one big pot, not pot, but pan. And it's like a breakfast casserole. It's like an egg, bacon, cheese, onion, spinach, tomato breakfast casserole, but it's delicious, guys. It's like quiche almost. It's kind of like quiche. All right. And it's got these home potatoes in it, but it's super delicious. But I can cook up a whole pan of that and that'll last me 3 to 4 days. But that's a healthy breakfast every single morning. And it tastes just as good when you warm it back up. So I'm just saying, meal prepping, guys, that's what's going to help save a ton of time, because you don't realize how much time you're spending just to go get lunch each day, or just to make your breakfast, or to cook your dinner each night. That takes a lot of time if you're doing that. Plus, if you're doing the dishes yourself, and if you're, going to the store to purchase, especially people, I don't understand people who go to the store like every single day. Like that to me, I hate going to the store. So it's like, I couldn't fathom doing it. But, those people who go to the store every day, that's a lot of time you spend going to the store. Like a lot of time you're spending going to the store, and that's all you're doing. It's like, if you want more time back in your day. So I guess what I'm getting at is do an analysis of where you're spending your time in a day. Understand that these are some of the important things that you can do to add back to your work day. And you'll start to see that if you start to put them into practice, you'll start to see that time come back, and you'll start to see that you're getting more things done on your checklist in a day. And it actually ends up freeing up more of your time and adding more time back to your day. We're like, oh, well, I guess I can just, I don't know, sit on my couch for an hour because I don't have to do anything. Like you don't have to. That's the thing. If you run a business, you understand there's a time where you have to do something and you don't have to do it. You know what I mean? So do you have to do it? And that's what doing these things does. It seems like, oh, well, if I'm doing all that, really it's just going to, take all of my busyness and organize my busyness, which yes, it does do, but it also takes areas where you have been basically just spacing or gapping on time because you're sitting there thinking either what you're going to do, or you're doing repetitive things every single week that you could be doing, once a week as opposed to 5 times a week. Sorry, let me turn this off because ESPN wants to kind of interrupt us tonight. I don't even know what it's about. It's probably the Hawks game or something. Anyways, so you guys see what I'm saying, though. If you do these things, if you practice things that are going to help organize your time slots in the day, I like to think of it in like 15 and 30-minute increments, okay? You almost break things apart by what you're doing every 15 minutes, every 30 minutes, every hour, something like that. But you want to understand where your time is going in the day. If you've never done an analysis of your time, that's one thing I recommend you guys doing. Sitting down and saying, okay, what did I get done last week? And this may be hard for a lot of you, but sit there and truly think about it. Okay, Monday, what did I do? If you have to, go online and look at your computer activity. Say, okay, this is what I did Monday. Did I get anything done here? And do that for a week and really see if you got anything done. Because that's the thing. A lot of people, they say, they set goals. I think there's actually it's like a unknown or unproven statistic that 95% of goals actually never get met. 95% of goals that people set never get met. And it's because of the fact that people set goals and they have no way of tracking their ability to get from point A to point B. They set the goal, but they never said, okay, and here's how I'm going to measure that success. It's measuring. They never measure their success or track their success to see, okay, well, I started here, point B is here, this is what I needed to get done. Did I do this at point A? If you guys have ever worked on Upwork or worked with someone on Upwork, they have something called milestones. It's basically not a stopping point, but a readjustment point in a campaign or in an agreement or a contract with someone where you say, okay, this is how we finished here. Does this all look good? All right, cool. We'll move forward to milestone 2. And that's kind of what you need to do with your own goals. You say, okay, first quarter, did we hit our goals? No? Okay, what do we need to recircle back to? What do we need to reassess? All right, cool. Let's take those, move them into stage or into, part 2 of this goal or milestone 2 of this goal and say, okay, now we're organized here. How can we move forward with what we have here plus what we had already planned for here, and then move it forward into stage 3? So it's a continual updating process where you're saying, all right, these are my goals. This is how I'm going to get here. This is what I have to do to move them forward in each stage of the cycle. So let me see here. Who in the marketing space do you try to learn from religiously? Math, time, and action. Yep. And yeah. Who do I learn from religiously? One person that I really like is Jay Bear. Another person is obviously Gary Vee. Gary Vee's a very different type of guy to watch, though. He's very intelligent. That's definitely not what I'm trying to say. He's just, he doesn't have enough content out there that's actually at least free content, because I don't pay for his content. I'm not going to pay for anything from him, but I do like his speaking. I would definitely go to an event where he was at. That's one thing I do want to do, is go to one of his actual events. But as far as like listening to stuff online, it's a lot of just, motivational stuff, which I don't listen to motivational stuff. I listen to stuff that's actually practical. Like I can apply it to my life now. That's the kind of stuff I like. But outside of him, I don't really listen to social media podcasts, or I do learn, but most of my learning is from blog articles, vloggers, stuff like that. Moz writes, people who are industry leaders. So sites like that, those are the people that I like to read from, because they're the experts in the industry or one of the top performing businesses in the industry. So they have a lot to teach. And like, seriously, if you haven't been to Moz before, M-O-Z, go to their website and just start reading through their blog content about SEO and blogging and creating content. You can almost learn everything you need from, but I've been reading their site for probably 3 years. I've watched Moz start from a little tiny business and see, what they've turned into now, but their content is amazing. I've learned a lot just from following them, but I have several sites like that, plus things like entrepreneur.com, mashable.com, the big sites that just do news updates. It's a great way to stay on top of what's actually happening in the industry. Plus Facebook has forums and pages like that. But I really like to, instead of listening to people like Ty Lopez or Gary Vee or Grant Cardone, instead of listening to them, I like to look at their stuff. I literally will go and just scroll through their feeds and their pages and say, okay, what are they doing? And then I'll say, like, I have on my Facebook account, I have probably maybe 200 ads that I've saved from different marketers, because I saw something and I said, I don't want to do that, or I do like that. That's what you guys don't understand. Facebook is a tool for advertisers. Let me show you guys something really quick. I don't even know if I can get it on my phone, but let me find an ad. Oh, first one. First one's my ad. In case you didn't know, the marketing agency program is live. You guys can get it. Just go to my Facebook page. You can get the $50 off coupon. All right, let's show you a different ad than mine, because I don't want to save my own ad. All right, here we go, a Ty Lopez ad. We have some good news and some bad news. Bad news is that those who don't take action often miss out, and sometimes, not always, a single decision determines the course of your life and your success forever. Never mind. Anyways, so look, I just don't like his copywriters. I really don't. But anyways, here's what we're going to do. If you click, so let me show you guys. If you click right here in the top right corner, you see those 3 little dots? You just click that. It's going to bring down a list, and then it says save link. You can save that link right there, and you can view it forever. And then all you have to do is, I bet you guys, I mean, if you don't know this, you definitely should. You're going to click this little thingy over here, the little 3 dots, and you're going to scroll until you see saved. So just scroll, because I'm not going to sit there and do that. It's a little purple icon that looks like that right there. You're just going to click that, saved. And then your ad that you just saved is sitting right there. See? Mentor box from Ty Lopez. So I can just click on that and it'll show me the ad. You guys should be saving ads. I'm telling you, it's one of the best ways to learn. You just literally say, okay, what's this? And then track it. You can follow it and say, okay, did this ad even get any good likes, or did it get any good engagement? Did it get a lot of views? You have stuff like that. Just trust me. It's a strategy that you should be using for your own campaigns. I do it for my real estate agency clients. I do it for the transmission guy. I did it for the music school. That's what you do. You follow competitors. Not that hard. Are you still doing an ebook? Yeah. So that's one thing that I'm working on. I have to find someone who writes, because guys, trust me, you do not want me writing a book. I have my thoughts. I have the theories and the principles that I want to teach. I don't have the writing ability to keep someone engaged and say, okay, so I'm finding someone who is a good writer, someone who can not only get the point across that I want to get across to you guys, and take from my lessons and mold that into learning material. But I also want to make sure that when they write it, it's not just like, oh my God, I want to shoot myself in the face. I'm tired of reading this stuff. I want it to be fun and I want it to be engaging. So you have to find a good writer. And that's going to take time. I'm not just going to put I'm not just going to put a book together just so I can sell a book for $25. Number one, it's just $25. Number two, I wouldn't want to put something with my name on it and then you guys hate me for it or think it's just a piece of trash and wish you wouldn't have paid $25 for it. So I do want to do an ebook. It is definitely in the plan. I just have so much going on with my agency. We're growing. My channel for YouTube has been blowing up this month for some reason. So that's been really great. But, we're just trying to keep everything moving in a steady direction. And that is definitely one of the things in the future. So we're doing that. I just need to, number one, plan which one we're going to do first. And then number two, start getting it written and then take the topics that I already have. Because that's what, dude, I looked at all the video and documents that I have over the past year. We've created at this point, we've probably created over 200 hours of video, maybe, close to 250 now. We've done so much video in the past year, plus documentation, PowerPoints for this course. It's been insane. You guys have no idea. So these are the 5 points. Kind of got off track here a little bit, but you guys see what I was talking about. This is really, this was what has added, I'd say, at least 2 to 3 hours back to my day each day. By doing these things, it's given me the time to say, okay, I can still take out my dog and wash clothes and take a shower and actually, play a video game or two. You just have to break things up and, not over consume. That's one thing I would say. People like Netflix, people like their video games. That's fine. I'm not saying never play video games. I'm saying overconsumption is what kills you. When you sit there and binge play video games and you say, I can just put that off and do it later. I can put that off and do it later. Well, those were actually tasks that you probably should have said, okay, these are things I can't miss. I can't, just give up on. I have to actually go do this now, or it's going to put me behind on all of these other things. So prioritize your life, prioritize what's important. If you really want to be a successful business owner, is that 30 minutes of video game worth the 30 minutes that you should have been spending on your client? So that's it for this. If you want more mentorship, more training, and the mentorship is a little different than this, guys. These are I just want you guys to understand that this is content stuff for you guys to help with entrepreneurs and people growing their business. The mentorship program, like today, we went in, or not today, sorry, I'm mixing my days. Yesterday, we went into a full description on how to price your services for your agency. We talked about content, video, blog articles, how to price those. We talked about, what else did we talk about? We talked about social media. We talked about SEO and pricing that. We talked about web development and pricing those. We talked about ad spends and pricing those, PPC campaigns and pricing those. I'm telling you, you don't want to miss this mentorship program. It is awesome. Just saying. So if If you want into that, I'm getting out of here now. I'm going to close this down. But if you want into that mentorship program, it is only $50 for your first month. That's 50% off for your first month. You just go over to our Facebook page, which is in the description below, and you can get access to that code. You just click that See Offers button, and that's it. Or it's Mentors50. If you just scroll up in the live chat, you'll see that. Mentors in all caps 50. So I'm going to get out of here, guys. I will see you on the next video. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns about what we went over tonight, as always, leave them in the comments section below. And if you're a new viewer, or you just need more updates on entrepreneurship and marketing, then hit that subscribe button, because we will give you all the updates you need here at Serial Entrepreneur Academy. All right. I'm getting loopy, guys. I got to go get out of here and get some rest tonight. It's been 3 long days in a row, and it's time for a break. So I will see you guys on the next one. Serial Entrepreneur out.